it was something I'd wanted to do for many years, and I was going through really another severe health crisis. I seem to have one every decade or so. I mean, I'm sure God is trying to tell me something that I'm too stupid to understand, so we go through this every decade. I was in a lot of pain and not in a state necessarily to be able to write continuous work of my own, but I've had this, one side of my studies has been Asian studies. I'm not a great sinologist. I mean, my studies of classical Chinese very sporadic and imperfect, and I had really had to brush up on a lot of things and seek out advice. But I still wanted to do an actual translation. I didn't want to do a sort of surface impression based on other translations and only a faint notion of the. So it gave me a chance to immerse myself in something that took me away from the physical issues and to enter into a spiritual and an imaginative world that's been very important to me since my teens. When I first read, I think the first version I ever read was Lin Yutang's version, and it allowed me to do something I'd wanted to do also with the text, which was try to be as accurate as possible. It's very hard, because there's a lot of very impenetrable diction in the book. I mean, there are things that people disagree on about how to translate, and I tried to go with the best, and I tried to use the best now available manuscripts. But I also wanted not to do what I think is always a mistake, even when it's done fairly well, which is to try to imitate the concision of the original, because it's just Chinese is a much more compact, condensed, concise language than English, and it doesn't work along the same sort of grammatic and semantic principle. Well, syntactically, it's not a real problem for an English reader, but in other just the range of connotations signs can have and the different functions that the same characters can have, verbal, nominal, whatever. So I wanted to make it lyrical and flowing, not opulent, not excessive, but I just think it's a mistake to try to make it a kind of mock Chinese in English because I think you lose more than you gain. So it allowed me to try to get as much fidelity and as much felicity as I could into the text in consonance with one another and come up with a version that I think is distinctive.